we're starting. So we'd like to do this exercise, and we'd like to read the number and display its factorial. Now, there are many ways to do this. So we're going to start with one way and then maybe think about other ways. So let's start with a new project. Next, so week 6, exercise 3, we said. And let's finish. So we're going to be asking the user to give us a number, and then because the factorial can be calculated in two ways. Either we have, for example, if the user gives us 5, we're going to multiply 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by decrementing, or we can do it the other way around by starting multiplying 1 by 2 by 3 until 5. So let's just do one of them and then see what we can do to do the other one. So first of all, I need the scanner, and then the control space is not helping. Yes, it's just slow. And then I'm going to keep equal new scanner. Notice that the control space always brings me the import, so I don't need to care about it, but I need to know that it's required. Now I'm going to ask the user to give me a number, so please enter a number. Now this number, I'm going to save it into, let's call it the number. Now that I have this, I need to find a way how to display it, how to calculate it first. So I need the while. So control space again is going to help me have the while. So the condition will be what? I mean, I'm going to do 5 multiplied by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. So I'm going to decrease. So it should be greater than 0. Or you know what? Why should I multiply by 1? Anything multiplied by 1 is not going to change anything. So I can stop at 2, for example. I'm going to stop. I can have 5 multiplied by 4 by 3 by 2. I don't need to multiply by 1 because it's not going to change anything anyways. So I can just do something like this. More than 2? No. If I do more than 2, 2 is not going to be accepted. And I would like to get inside when number is equal to 2. I want this to be true, so I'll put 1. And then what I'm going to do, I need another variable to get the results. Or I can call it factorial or result. And that number, I need to initialize it with a number. That variable needs to be initialized, because I'd like to do the same thing that I used to do with the sum, but this time I'm going to say, for example, factorial is equal to factorial multiplied by the number. And then the number, I'm going to decrease it later on. So it will be 5 multiplied by 4 by 3, etc. Now this factorial needs to be initialized. I cannot put 0 because 0 is going to stay 0. So 0 is useful with the addition because it doesn't affect the result of the addition, but for the multiplication, 1 is the one that doesn't affect the multiplication. So I'm going to initialize it with 1. And doing this thing, it's going to work, inshallah. Now just need to display the result as factorial. And then put the results. Now I'm going to test this with numbers that I know. For example, factorial of 2 is 2. Factorial of 3, 6. Because it's 2 times 3. 3 times 2. Factorial of 4, 24. Because it's 6 times 4. So if I put 2, that's working. Execute again. 3, working. 4, 5. What is 5? It's 120. What is 7? You know what's
5,000 something.
5,000 something? Well, that's not going to help with the 5,000 something. To make sure that your computer works, you need to make sure that you need to put a value that you know the answer of it. So now, what is happening? Okay, so if I put 6 720. What about 7? You would like to see your 5,000 something. So that's your 5,000 something. Now, what if I'd like to display it in a better way? Let's say, instead of doing this, I would like to display, for example, if I enter 5, I would like to see 5 factorial equal 5 multiplied by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. That would be some nice thing to display. And I'm going to show you a very nice trick, which is I'm going to display it one part at a time. So I need to display 5 factorial. The 5 is the number that was given to me, basically. So I'm going to display this, put the symbol of factorial equal, and the first time it should be equal to that number multiplied by itself, right? So I'm going to put it here, for example. Every time I'm going to multiply this and then display. Before multiplying, I'm just going to print again the number plus, and let's multiply. I'm going to show x, for example, so you can see this thing, and at the end I'm going to display equal and then factorial. Let's see what this is going to give me. If I type 5, for example, I'm going to say, okay, 5 multiplied by 4 by 3 by 2. There's this one. Maybe I could just put 1 here. So maybe before this I can just put 1, and this is going to be a nice result. And what if it's another number? So that's a fancy way to display things. Anyways, I'm just showing you some different ways. And that's it about the factorial. What if we'd like to do it in the other way, instead of displaying for having like 5, 4, 3, 2? Why not have 1, 2 until 5? If we'd like to do that, what should we do? Now this number now is our limit, our 5. We need another variable to start from 1. If we'd like to start from 1, 2, 3 until 5, we need another variable to start from 1. I'm just seeing, maybe I'm going to confuse you. Exactly. So now this number here is the number that I'm going to, this is my limit. And let me just rename it to be the limit. Now let me just remove some of the other things, like just not to get the confusion. I'm just going to remove the rest and just put something that is going to be easy, and then we improve it. I'm just doing the minimum just to make it work. So the number now, it will start with 1. I want this number to start with 1, then become 2, 3 until it reaches the limit. So if the number is smaller or equal to the limit, then this is my condition. So if the number is 1, 2, 3 and the limit is 5, when the 5 is equal to 5, I get in, and then 5 is going to be the limit. So if I go beyond 5, it will be false and I get out. Now I'm not going to be decrementing the limit. I need to increment the number. And now I'm just going to multiply that number. I need to increment. So now what is going to happen? The number starts with 1, is 1 less than 5. Imagine now the user enters 5. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. I'm going to multiply 1 by 1, put it here, and then make it 2. So should I start with 1? I could just start with 2. Just 2, because the first time I'm going to multiply 1 by 2. And then keep going. And then it will become 3. And then I multiply 1 by 2. This now contains 1 by 2 that I multiply by 3. And so on until I reach the limit. If I try it again just to see. If I type 5, it's 120. So that's another way to do this thing. But what if now I'd like to display like the 5 factorial equals whatever. Now the number here, the limit doesn't change because I used another variable to have this calculation. So what I could do is to maybe I could display something like this. In the beginning, before the loop, I can say the limit plus this is equal to, and now I need to have 1 multiplied by, I said 1, because I'm started always with 1, and then I need to use the number. Now the first time this number is going to be 2, right? So I have number plus and then x, just to show x is the multiplication. And then when I'm done, I just need to display the result of the factorial. Do you think it's going to work? Not really, but anyways, let's try. Now, well, we have this print line somewhere. This one, we don't want it. Let's try again with 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we have this one over here. Because I displayed the number. See what I'll do? I displayed the number 1. Let me just show this, keep this here. Can I? Yes. So here, for example, now what I did, this limit is 5. And then we have this, which is this. And then we display the number. This is the loop. So then this is what the loop displays. It displays the number, then a space, x and space. Then this is the first iteration, the second, the third, the fourth. Now the fifth, I just added this thing here. Now how can I fix this? I need to have the x before the number. So how can I do that? Maybe I can just, for example, do something like this and put the x before. So I don't have something. So I'll just remove the x from here. So now this is going to display just this. Or maybe I just need to put also this space. So it will stop here. And then inside the loop, I'm going to display this one and then the number. The next time, this one and then the number. And then so this is going to be displayed just this one, the number. So I'm not going to be having this x on the right side.
It will be in the first, before the one.
It should be in the first, not before the one, because I have 1 here, and after the 1 I'm displaying this x. So it's going to be after the 1. And this is going to be useful. The only thing, I just need to remove this space because, oh no, I need to leave the space. Now let's run and try it again. Oh, not here, here. 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to work regardless. Is that okay? One small thing. What if I put a big number? You see the result?
No.
0.
This is the result.
Big number?
Yeah. Why is it 0? Let's put a less. Actually, we can have a problem just starting maybe from 11 or something like that. No, that's still okay. 12 or 13. No, that's okay. And 15 maybe. No, that's still fine. 18. 18 is a problem. Now, multiplying positive numbers gives you a negative number.
Why?
That's weird. Because int, with the size of it, it can handle just a small number. Because, you know, keep multiplying, this is going to be a big number. Now let's just see the last one that is available, maybe 16 or 15. Yeah, 16. So this is pretty close to the maximum that the int can handle. Having more is going to be having that's called an overflow, which means you're it's like you're pouring in a cup and then you keep pouring and then the cup overflows. The cup cannot support all that. So this becomes something negative because of the negative bit, the sign bit that is called, but I don't want to talk about this. But I just would like you to realize that there's a limit. Now if I'd like to make it a bigger data type, maybe use some kind of long. Now long is going to maybe work with the 17. Again, 17. which is going to see 17 is kind of a big number, but then this also long has a limit as well. Anyways, just I want you to know that data types have limits. So that's the end of this story about the factorial. I hope you enjoyed it.